We are ready when you are, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, as soon as I get 9 o'clock, I'll call the meeting to order, so. Okay, I have 9 o'clock. I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Criminal Justice and Counties Affairs Committee. I will start it off by identifying myself. I am Frank Engler, and I am participating from my home in Deerfield Township, Isabella County, Michigan.
Steve Sweeney, attending remotely from Clare, Michigan.
I'm Jim Horton. I'm Commissioner District 4, coming in from my home in Union Township, Mount Pleasant, Michigan.
Okay, at this time, is there any additions to the agenda? Seeing none, I will ask for a call to the public. Is there anybody that would like to make a public comment at this time?
There is no public at this time, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, we'll give it a little time yet, and then we'll proceed. Okay, one last call. Still no one there?
That is correct, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, we will move on to the agenda item number 4. Consider approving the fiscal year 2022 adult drug court program contract in the amount of $66,500 and authorize the board chair to allow the court administrator to utilize DocuSign to sign the contract. Okay, so we have Administrator Curtis here, and we also have, who else we have? Who would like to talk first? Kate Mitchell, which is the adult drug court coordinator. So who would like to take first? Kate?
Go ahead,
Sure.
Kate.
The Adult Drug Court began in 2003, and it's a treatment-based program for adults with drug or alcohol problems. We require them to attend counseling, attend self-help meetings. They do community service. They do frequent drug and alcohol testing. Everyone in the program is required to either work or be a full-time student. We just kind of keep them busy and try to get their lives back on track.
Okay, I see, again, we did not get the full requested amount. What did we receive last year?
The same amount that we received as an award amount this year.
Okay, I wasn't sure on that, so.
Yeah, we continue to find that the state is hesitant to give us more money in this program. And I think it comes down to the fact that we operated for so many years on even a lesser amount than this and didn't seek more. So they're somehow convinced we don't need more. Even though we keep asking and trying to improve our grant application so that they will award us more. They're kind of convinced that we can do it with what we have, which we do, but we'd like more.
It's kind of funny. I had a conversation with the sheriff and the prosecutor last night, and we talked about how the crime rate is increasing not only in Isabella County, but all over, and how it'll be a couple years before they even get caught up. So it's kind of sad that we're receiving less money to do programs that try to prevent some of this, some of this influx. So this has been a program we've been doing for quite a few years now. Quite familiar with it. Commissioner Sweeney, do you have anything to add?
I was wondering what type of programming are we missing out on by not receiving about 60, half of the grant request?
I don't think we're missing out on any programming. Usually their insurance will cover the counseling that they're doing. We're missing out on extra drug testing money. I mean, we do testing a couple times a week, and because everybody's not rich, we do try to pay for that because it really adds up a lot. So a lot of it's drug testing money. Part of it is money for us to go to the annual conference. which is actually fairly expensive considering it's something they require us to do. So we had asked for money for the conference. We'd ask for money for incentives such as being able to buy, Meyer cards or gas cards for everybody. We have a little bit of money left in our 2% grant that we got 2 years ago. So we've been using that for some incentives, but it would have just been extra money to be able to make life easier for everybody, I guess.
Okay, Chairman Horton, do you have anything to add?
Just Gary, this is just mostly how we sign this. So it looks like I authorize you to sign it. Is that correct, Carrie? Is that how it works? It says a court administrator can sign. So do I have to sign something off to have you sign, or just how does that work?
So how it has worked the last couple of years that we've been doing this is once we go to the main board meeting and that authorization is made, I receive, I think, an email maybe from Jess or just stating that, that was authorized at the meeting, which I'm there, so I kind of know, but, and then I can go ahead and DocuSign and apply the signature. It's my signature that gets applied based on authorization from you to do so.
Perfect. Okay, great. So I want Chairman Engel, I don't have to ask that for number 5 and number 6. So just to let you know.
Okay.
Unless you want me to ask that.
I will hold you to that. So
Okay, there you go. Well, I'll think of something, All right. Thank you, Gary.
Okay, does anybody else have any more questions? Okay,
All right, I'll make a motion. Move to bring approval of the fiscal year 2022 Adult Drug Court Program contract in the amount of $66,500 to the board to review in the work session next Tuesday.
I will support that. It's been moved and supported. Is there any more discussion on the motion? Seeing none, we'll vote. All in favor signify by aye. Aye.
Aye.
Nay, the same. We will move that. It has passed, and we will move that forward to the next meeting. Okay, next up is consider approving the fiscal year 2022 juvenile drug court program contract in the amount of $88,000 and authorize the board chair to allow the administrator to utilize DocuSign to sign the contract. We have Maria Reiser here. Who's our coordinator, pretty similar to the last one. So Maria, would you like to comment?
Yes, sir. Thank you. And good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Good morning.
So this is actually the exact same amount of money that we got last year. It is less than what we asked for, which is in the neighborhood of $109,000. Our request included, of course, the annual conference, incentives and sanctions, incentives, which is part of the program, testing instruments for helping us determine eligibility, and things of that nature. And so we can utilize, of course, the child care fund to help offset drug testing costs and incentives and sanctions. So the amount that we are awarded will not impact our programming in any way, shape, or form. We'll continue to offer our incentives. We will continue to drug test at least twice a week. And all of our participants do attend counseling, which is covered right now through their Medicaid or Blue Cross insurance.
Okay, I think I asked this last year, and I probably ask it all the time, but I know with the COVID schools opening and closing, are you seeing an increase, or you think that's going to be a backlog in that because schools have been kind of, Zoom meetings and in person and then out, and then you got the whole COVID restriction. Are your applications actually going up, or do you think you're going to see some more?
So our applications have gone up in this past year. And I do anticipate we'll see another increase here. What we do here in the juvenile system is when someone who's on general probation is drug tested and they fail a number of drug tests, then they're flagged for a referral for an assessment, a substance abuse assessment. And then based on the outcome of that assessment, they will be considered further for drug court. And we do see, our cases overall have gone down during the past couple of years. And I think that's a similar pattern throughout the state. What we also find is that over the course of the past couple of years, monitoring youth has been a little bit challenging in terms of, there's only so much you can do over Zoom. There's only so much impact you can have, I think, on minors, probably adults too, over Zoom. So we are now back to once a month, having our drug court hearings in person. And that seems to be a little bit more effective in having an impact on youth. I always say that it's really hard for them to take the judge seriously when he's the size of a postage stamp on their phone. So having in-person hearings, I think, is going to be very beneficial to making an impact on these youth and helping them get through the program.
Are you seeing any, I know this could be a question for everybody on the screen, but are you seeing any problem with the testing as far as the lab getting back delays? I know every place that I deal with, there's delays and backups, and how's that affecting the program?
I'm not seeing any delays. It has been, business as usual. I always worry, our lab is in California, and I always get worried when there are fires out there. I always look them up to see how close they are to the lab, but so far, all is good, and our turnaround times have not been impacted at all. It does take a good solid week, or a little bit more maybe, to get test results back from our lab, just based on how the lab testing process works.
Okay, Commissioner Swaney, you have any questions?
I don't have any further questions.
Okay,
Commissioner Engler, Chairman Engler. Real quick, and this probably could have went to section number 4 too. What do you see? More alcohol in juveniles, or you see more drugs, or what's the breakdown normally? Alcohol versus non-alcohol drugs or drugs?
So our drug of choice, their drug of choice still it remains marijuana, overwhelmingly marijuana. With some alcohol use, we do test for a variety of substances, because what we know with substance abusers, once they know that they're being tested for a particular substance, then they'll switch to something else. But our field tests can test for alcohol as well as marijuana and a number of other things. We did have a suspicion in the early fall that cough syrup, DXM, had a resurgence, not just with drug court youth, but all youth in the community. So that is not something that we have on our field test, but we can send it in the lab. And so we've been doing some spot checking with that, but so far we've not had any positive results.
My understanding, they're getting like a euphoric effect from dextromethorphan. Is that why they use it?
Yes, sir.
That's just unbelievable. But it is what it is. So thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
hey, is there any more questions? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Right.
Move this forward.
Move forward to the work session, the approval of the fiscal year 2022 juvenile court program contract in the amount of $88,000.
Okay, I will support that. It's been moved and supported that we move this forward to the work session. Is there any more discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. The motion has passed, and we will move this forward to the work session. Okay, next up, consider approving the fiscal year 2022 Swift Insure Sanction Probation Program contract in the amount of $205,000 and authorize the board chair to allow the court administrator to utilize DocuSign to sign the contract. And we have Carolyn Johnson with us, administrator of this program. So Carolyn would like to address it.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So unlike the other programs, we actually received $5,000 more than what we had last year. We requested, I believe it was 207 or 208,000 and received 205. So I am happy with the amount we received for our grant this year. Swift Insure has been around since 2011. We are a more intensive style form of probation that is compliance driven. So the people know coming into the program that they will be sanctioned for a violation and what their sanction recommendation will be. We are an 18-month program. If they go through the program in 12 months without a violation, then we consider discharging them from probation at that time. We use our grant for wages, fringes, and drug testing, and some monies to help them pay for their jail stay. So that's pretty much what our grant consists of. We are seeing an influx, or I guess more positives in meth, but that's kind of been our pattern for the last couple of years. So people are able to go to counselors, residential treatment if they feel they need it, and we do random drug testing here in the office as well as offsite.
Okay, we've seen this program for quite a few years. I'm quite familiar with it. Commissioner Sweeney, you're fairly new. Do you have any questions?
I was wondering, how many people come through the program every year?
We had, I believe it was 59 open cases from September 1st of, or October 1st of 2020 to September 30th of this year. So that's how many cases were open during that time.
And what percent success do you have for?
I think I'm just in the process of doing my status report. I think I'm at a 45% successful completion since the beginning of the program. So since 2011,
okay.
I believe that is how many. I haven't calculated the number yet for this year. I mean, we've had 11 successfuls actually for this last report period, the last fiscal year.
Has that fluctuated over the years? Have you seen?
Yes.
Yeah,
Good number. Yeah.
Yes.
thank you.
Okay, Chairman Horton, do you have any questions?
Nope. I do not.
Okay,
All right, I'll move forward to the work session, the approval of the fiscal year 2022 Swift Insure Sanctions Probation Program contract in the amount of $2,005.
It's 205,000, isn't it?
205,000.
Okay, I have no idea what I just said. 205,000.
I'm surprised I listened. So there you go.
I'll support that. It's been moved and supported that we move this forward to the work session. Is there any more discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. The motion has passed and we will move this forward to the work session. Okay, our final item up is consider approving the fiscal year 2022 Community Correction Grant Contract in the amount of $68,000 and authorize the board chair to sign the same. We have Carrie Curtis, our administrator, here on this one, and she can explain a little bit about the contract and explain to Chairman Horton why that he has to sign this one.
Yes, that was the first thing I was going to do. He has to sign this one because this is not a web grant. This is actually through the Department of Corrections, so they still allow and accept official signatures. So that's why we want the real thing on this particular grant. So this one is known as the Joe Kaliga grant for many years. So what we did this year is really looked at our programming, looked at the needs, looked at what was happening in the community and tried to find another way to offer the same services, but maybe allocate the funds differently. We were having a really difficult time getting participants in the group programming or enough participants in order for the grant to pay for it. So for community corrections to pay for the vendor that we were using, we had to have 3 participants for each group that met the criteria. And oftentimes there were no shows or cancellations or whatever. So the vendor wasn't getting paid. We weren't holding groups. It just became kind of a nightmare to manage. And at the end of the day, our offenders weren't getting the services that they were supposed to be getting. So what we opted to do this year is use an off-the-shelf program, Thinking Matters, which is going to be taught by our internal staff. As a matter of fact, the first group session is supposed to start today, so hopefully we'll get some people to appear. But by using our own staff, we can reduce significantly the costs associated with paying the vendor, but still bill the grant for reimbursement of our staff salaries when they're participating in that program. So that allowed us to really divert the rest of the money that we were asking for to pretrial services, which we've all heard a lot about with the jail reform and jail diversion, pretrial reform and jail diversion, I suppose, where they want to, really not keep people in jail, offer pretrial services, that kind of thing. So we can really help and pay for the electronic monitors or the sober links that people need to be on during pretrial. So, we reallocated our funds. So we're super excited to see how this year goes. And we are in the process of hiring the community corrections coordinator. So I'm excited that we're trying to move that forward. And we do have some applicants. So hopefully we can get someone on board in the next few months. So that's it in a nutshell.
Well, I'd like to congratulate you and your staff for not only getting more money than last year and for revamping the program that we've had for a while and making it more efficient. I'm really impressed on how you went to task on this and accomplished what you did. So thanks.
Thank you.
I don't have any questions. Commissioner Swaney, do you?
Nope.
Okay, Chairman Horton.
None for me, sir.
Okay.
All right.
What?
Margaret has her hand up, Frank.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking at my notes. Administrator McAvoy.
That's fine. I don't have any questions. I just want to say that in a previous iteration of being administrator someplace else, community corrections reported to me, which is an interesting theory, but worked out great. But we use this same program, Thinking Matters, and it is a very good program. So I again commend Carrie and her staff. I think that you're going to, your team is going to enjoy using that process, and they'll do a great job with it. But it is, as you said, it's utilized in a lot of counties, and it's very well respected and very well thought of. So great choice.
Okay, any more?
All right, I'll make a motion to move forward to the work session, the approval of the fiscal year 2022 Community Corrections Grant Contract in the amount of $68,000.
Okay, I will support that. It's been moved and supported that we move this forward to the work session. Is there any more discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor signify by aye. Aye. Opposed, the same. The motion has passed and we will move this forward to the work session. I'd like to thank all our participants today. I said pretty well for reports that were very, here's what it is. And I'm glad we continue to keep these programs, even though some of them keep getting reduced. So thank you again.
Thank you.
With that, yes. With that, I will one more time ask for a call to the public.
There is no public at this time, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, seeing none, I will adjourn the meeting. Thank you all.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great day.